turn up on my phone. Make sure. Oh yeah.
Operate your computer. Operate your computer.
Well, it's live. Hello, all you Wookiee warriors. How's it going? So, sorry for the big delay. I had some technical difficulties. It's like trying to drive the Enterprise and you haven't driven it for like a couple years. And I say the Enterprise because I couldn't possibly imagine trying to drive an entire spaceship like that. So today I am joined with my good friend Fireman Dan, another good friend of mine, Grandpa Ice, or I just call him Ice because I'm not gonna call him Grandpa. And then for the first time, and also a recent new subscriber, Grizzly. And we are going to be talking about the recent boneheaded decisions done by, wait for it, PlayStation and Sony. And you guys, if you guys have been following social media, you should know what we are going to be talking about. So if Blue Ice and Dan and Grizzly all like to introduce themselves, then we can get going. Okay, thank you. I don't know how to get that so I can show you guys. Do I add another source? Yeah, that's pretty much what I have. I put it on podcast.
Do you have
How? Hang on. I just did something. Oh, everyone looks so crazy now. Yeah. Well, you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves. I'll continue working on this.
Hey guys, how's it going? Fireman Dan in the house.
Grizzly 22 Gaming here. How y'all doing this evening or tonight?
Grandpa Blue Ass Gaming here. And we're trying to let Wookie get his stuff set up.
As I told you, it's like the Enterprise. Alright, so I'm adding a source. I just titled it Discord. Do I put...
Your Discord was showing, it's just you're mirrored.
Yeah, I put it on podcast, so hang on. Let me do this.
So
Web
the main
source.
screen back up.
Game capture, screen capture, Windows capture. Screen capture, okay. Add. Pod. I have weights downstairs. I'm trying.
It was a stretch.
Alright.
Man.
Should I just put automatic, or it says screen one, which shows everyone, or
Automatic or try
alright, what does it look like now? Oh, it's looking for a game capture. That's why. Hang on.
I have to do window capture.
Yeah. All right. Does that work?
There he goes.
All right. We can see everybody. Woo! All right. So, the point of this podcast is I wanted to get multiple people's well, more than his personalities, but multiple opinions on the subject. I know I have a lot to say on it. I've been talking to people on Facebook. It was almost turned into freaking wars. And I know both Dan and Ice have been around the gaming circuit for a while, mostly on PC, but this would also affect them as well. If one platform is going to get rid of physical media. It wouldn't be long before other sources of physical media went away. So, who wants to start first, or would you like me guys to start?
Go ahead.
Alright, so based on everything I've seen on everyone's covering it, I mean, this is not new, but this is about a week old, about almost a little over a week old now. So, PlayStation announced, I think it was a little over a week ago, that they were going to stop producing physical discs. They actually started closing down their factories that do print out the physical copies so they can go for a whole digital future. Now, I know that we're all gearing towards going into a full digital future, which, Dan, I'm already chugged. Here's some chugging for you, okay? Damn it. So, let me set my chat to all so I can see everyone. I know that we're going into it. We're going to have a digital future. I just don't feel that we're quite ready to make that leap just yet. I think it's a little too zealous for them to shut down their physical libraries or factories, especially since I've seen rumors and that the new Xbox is going to be still pretty loud physical copies. If you look at the history of PlayStation, Sony, the one big problem I have is if you're going for a full digital future, you're going to be having everyone's information there, credit card information, easy, and we don't. I personally have never had it because then I make my password so freaking complicated that no one can get in there. But we still have people able to hack the system. I don't think the security system is on par enough for that particular jump to. Now I'm going to use Xbox. I'm not saying Xbox has done the most amazing job, that they're way better than Sony. They've made their mistakes as well. But if I open up my Xbox right now, which I can't show you guys on stream right now because I don't have my Xbox hooked up, I open my tab and it says down. It has a section that says purchased or owned, and those are mine. Like, I own these games. If for whatever reason we can't buy video games anymore on Xbox, they did something really cool. Is they got rid of buying movies on their platform, but all the movies I bought are still available for me. I can still watch them. They're mine to watch. Now, I don't see something like that on Disney. Sorry, not Disney, but on Sony, on PlayStation, because there's a recent report that I guess they lost the licenses to these movies, and they had to delete about 500 movies, and all the people who bought those movies never got the refunds, and there is no way for them to watch them again. I personally have never gone that route. I've never gone to Sony. I've only recently started looking at Sony, like if it's for free. But I personally go to Fandango for all my movie purchases. So I'm kind of glad I never did that, because then I'd be probably blowing up Sony to the point where they would just block my phone number. But with that right there, people are really, and I keep on hammering the point. It's not about physical discs. That's not what people are worried about. It's the ownership of the game. Because if I want, like, say, I lost my internet today. I wasn't able to use internet. I can still go to my some of my collection, and pop in the disc and play it. And when you don't have that capability, especially if you go up for an all digital future, you're looking at people who might be somewhat remote in their locations and only have limited internet access. So that really limits that person, but if they still have that disc, they can pop it in and still play it. So I feel like they're also excluding this person. And I understand, digital distribution is a really high point for them in terms of their wallet, but there's not again, it comes back to ownership And I feel that there are also not services in place for it, because if Dan was just talking, me and Dan were talking about movies not that long ago, and he was talking about Redbox. You know, you can go out, rent the movie, watch it, take it back. Same thing, they actually started adding video games to Redbox. Now, that would be something I wish I would want them to do if they're going to do a whole digital future, is actually be able to rent the video games before you buy it. If you're having a PlayStation membership, you know, that they should have all, and I do mean all, PlayStation titles. Every game that has come out on the PlayStation, because if you look at the PlayStation Store, it is relatively limited to what's on there. Now, how would this affect PC gamers in general, or Xbox gamers? Because you're like, I've seen people like, well, I'm not buying a PlayStation, I'm just going to go play Xbox. Well, the thing is, if PlayStation gets this solid in 2028, that Xbox will follow suit, because like, hey, they're making this much and people are doing this, let's do that. But I feel that, you know, Xbox is a little bit more down to earth when it comes to their communities and their fan base, because they understand without your fans, without your gamers, you got nothing. Now with PC gaming, I know PC gaming is mostly digital, but I feel that PC is a little bit more refined when it comes to, you know, digital. You know, you can buy a game. See, this is where Dan and I would be able to comment better on it, because that was another thing I hope PlayStation would have is, you know, money back guarantee. You know, you play the game, you didn't like it, because in physical, like if you bought a game from the store or a movie, you watched it, you didn't like it, you took it back and you get your money back. But with digital, you don't have that option. So there would have to be some kind of option for that customer, for the consumer, to be able to return said video game and get their money back. And that's not a bad thing, because if the customer gets $70 back, that's $70 or whatever they paid for plus taxes, but they can go and buy another game. And maybe they like this game, they keep it. So at this point, I've given some of the points of contention for me. I'm going to go ahead and open it up to the rest of the people in here, so they don't keep on sitting there looking pretty. Whoever wants to go. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
So let's say I had PlayStation Plus for a while, and I didn't have internet because I wasn't going to have internet. And I downloaded a digital game. It means I would not be able to play that unless I got PlayStation Plus, or that's essentially it. Unless you have PlayStation Plus, you cannot play the game you downloaded.
I'm gonna elaborate on that. To be honest, I had PlayStation Plus for 2 years. So, for like example, I'm gonna use it Farm Sim, the new Farm Sim 25, for example. I play it on my PlayStation, and I also play it on. You could, with PlayStation Plus, all it does is you can play with friends online that have PlayStation. But if, like, let's just say everything is going all digital, right?
Right.
And there's rumors that things are shutting down. Those are rumors. I don't.
No. The factories are shutting down. Sony has confirmed it.
Well, anyway, I'm just saying, in general. So for Farm Sim, if I don't want to play Farm Sim with other friends and I haven't purchased PlayStation Plus, I can play that offline.
Right. Because like, you own the physical disc to it.
I own the original copy.
Yes. You own the physical disc.
If you own that digital copy, you don't have to worry about it. It's like all my stuff is digital. Okay? With my computer, everything is all digital.
But that's on the computer. Because that's why I said the PC is a little bit more refined in terms of their policies and their purchases for the consumer versus what PlayStation is doing.
So for another example, so like 7 days, if I don't have internet, I cannot physically play it at all.
Right.
The whole server is shut down. The only thing I'll be access to for both consoles is Farm Sim, I'm trying to think, and American Truck and Euro Truck. That's it. What's up?
You mentioned 7 days.
Yep.
That's not PlayStation now?
Yes, sir. But it says play beta, and it's not.
Oh, it's beta.
Yeah, it's not the full release of it yet. They're still working the glitches and bugs out of it.
See,
I can't understand it, so I just stopped playing it and I just played it on the computer.
You said beta.
Yeah. So
Before I thought you was talking about that.
no, it wasn't. It's not like the full release. It's like when anything goes on, let's just say, Steam. It's you can play beta as if you're doing the updates or doing, you know, the fine details.
Yeah, I understand what you're getting at.
So either way, if I don't have internet, I can only play certain games
right.
that don't physically require internet. But I also play Call of Duty Warzone too. If my internet's down, I cannot play that whatsoever.
We just lost Dan.
But with everything going digital, I think it's awesome. But if they're taking certain license away from the PlayStation's going to be no more. Like when they brought PlayStation 5 out, now PlayStation 4 is obsolete. There's no more software.
Well, no. PlayStation 4 is not obsolete because you can still go. You can still go on. Like, say, if I had one of my PS4 games right now, let's say, for argument's sake, Batman. I went and popped Batman into my PS4, or I played. Oh no, Bloodborne would be perfect. Bloodborne. If I had the Bloodborne disc, I could pop into my PS4 and still play it. So it's not 100% obsolete, and that's what the point people are making is that you don't own it. And Sony has been very egregious with the fact that they, you know, it's a company. They're there to make money. But when, but where I think Sony has disconnected is that they've forgotten who their customer base is. Without your customer base, you don't make the money, and when they go digital, and I can already see how this is going to play out. In 2028, if they fall through on their plan, they're not going to. You won't be paying $70 for a game. They're going to turn that dial up. They're not. Everyone's like, well, that's a question I've seen on Facebook and a few other places. Well, are we going to get it cheaper then? Back to the $60 prices? No. And that goes back to inflation a little bit because. Like if you're talking about rent, it's like, is it ever going to go down? Why would I go back down to, say, I was charging you $600 for rent, and now I'm charging you $800, and now the prices should go down. Why am I going to charge you less for rent when I know I can charge you this and I'm going to make more money? Sony will not just give you $60, even though they cut off so many of these costs, which would be a good thing to shade cost, like to print games, ship them out, all that. But I don't see a price point either dropping. It will never drop. The only time I've ever seen only time I've ever seen a game go for $60 is the most recent title is Assassin's Creed Black Flag, which is also one of my favorites, remaster. That's the only game I've seen in recent time it actually goes down for $60. Now, that's one thing that people are scared is that after 2028, are they going to keep the $70 price point, or are they going to start cranking that dial?
Or it might just stay right as it is for the time being until they get everything sorted out. That's just my opinion.
So,
So like, if they say, okay, we're going to get rid of the disc version, and the only way you can play your games now is you got to re-buy everything digitally.
Well, the next...
Not a lot of people are going to do that because their credit card information is going to be on the system.
Right.
But
Wait,
take it off, it's still going to be there because it's attached to your account.
Well, see, like I said, for mine, I don't trust any platform with my information at all. So I make my passwords ultra complicated. So
I'm not going to disagree with you on that because there's a lot of people out there. It's not just you. There is a lot of people that have that same opinion, and a lot of people don't. They'll just go out and buy a disc and pop it in. Say, oh, okay, I got it.
Well, we've heard a lot from Grizzly. I haven't heard a lot from Dan and Ice. So go ahead, guys. One of you guys take the floor.
Thank you, Dan. My opinion is visual digital. I don't like the idea of pure digital for a few reasons. One is, like you were saying, the price hike on it
Mm-hmm.
go up. Might not be right off the bat, but then I say 6 months you can see the price hike.
Mm-hmm.
So, we just basically seen the $60 to $70 hike within 2 years.
Right.
And like I was tell you the bit love stream about Ubisoft.
Mm-hmm. Go for it. I want to hear that because I cut you up because I like to save it for this podcast.
The developer of Ubisoft had this game out called Crew.
Mm-hmm. I remember it.
And a lot of people bought into it, and the DLCs, everything was playing it. Was playing it all the way up to the point where Ubisoft dealership servers there.
Mm-hmm.
Before the server went down, people started taking a petition when they heard that Ubisoft was shut the server. And when they wasn't that big about shutting the servers off, they were shutting servers off, nobody could play the game.
Sure.
Petition went to court. And failed. Ubisoft still won it. But everybody found out there was a code in the program that in software that Ubisoft could do to make a single player game. So
Sure.
you could literally continue playing it all the time. That's what everybody wanted. Everything was on ship service, but Ubisoft never did do that. So the game itself is now out of any type of store, digital, physical, whatever, products has been gone. Nobody can play the game. Nobody can see the refund. And if you bought the game, bought the DLC, you spent right around $80 to $90.
Well, see, if I can interject on the DLC part. See, I was talking with a buddy of mine, Dara, because I was playing the DLC for Bloodborne. He's like, I don't really buy DLC. For me, I don't mind DLC if it's adds on more to the game. So, say if I was playing Bloodborne and they said, "Hey, buy this DLC," and I buy it and it's just a weapons pack, I think that's just a money cow. But if I got an extra 3-4 hours out of my game and I added on to what was already built onto it, then yes, I endorse. I just the extra $20 or $15 to I recently bought the Blasphemous DLC. Added probably additional hour or two to my gameplay, and added on to the story. And it was well worth that price point. Mm-hmm.
The update that they had was the capability where you could drive cop cars, you could become a cop to chase down other players. So, running the game and then add to the game itself. What you laughing at about this?
This is the way it's made up.
But this kind of goes back to my point when we go all digital. I just don't feel that like for DLCs. Like right now we're paying. That would probably even be jacked up. So let's say for Bloodborne or Elden Ring. Let's go Elden Ring. That's a relatively new game. Instead of paying like say $20 for, I don't know what the price point was for Elden Ring's Sacred Tree DLC, but let's just say for argument's sake it was like $20-$30. Okay, but what happens when we go digital? And now Sony is the gatekeepers here. You pay what we want you to pay, or you get out. And that's another thing people are worried about is the price point with the new console. Because for years, I don't remember all the price points for the consoles, but I remember I think it was for the PlayStation 2 was like what, $200, $300 at the time, and the original PlayStation was roughly around $200. So we didn't really see much of a big price spike. And then what we
4 and 5 were like $500 or $600.
I think it jumped to like $400 right around the PS3 time, and then it hit $400, and then you got that extra $100 pike when they came up with the Pros. But the next PS6 console, they're retailing it for $1,000. Yeah. So it has no disk drive at all. So here's the funny thing. So it has no disk drive. But they're like, don't worry, we got you. Here, pay $60 and you get put a disk drive into your system. So I'm paying $1,060 total for my console when I could just pop into my PS5 or any other console with a disk drive and play my games. Thank you. So, yes. So, and they're going to come out with the PS6 Pro, which will be what, $1,200, $1,500. And I've seen people on the spectrum. I think there's just people trying to get drama. Like, oh yeah, I'm going to buy the PS6. I don't care about you guys. You guys are dinosaurs. You guys want physical media, and I keep on I'm not. I don't consider myself old, but I don't see I'm not the naysayer who's gonna say oh no, physical must be there when I'm 80 years old. We're gonna go into a digital future. That's just the brass tacks of it. But I feel that Sony needs to iron this all out before they make that jump and be a little bit more forthright with their audiences. Instead of hey, guess what? We're gonna have no physical copy. Good, see ya. That's kind of like when I used to live in an apartment. I got this these nice letters that says, hey, we have to raise your rent by $50. We're sorry for this price point, but we do have to charge you because of the current state. We're still charging the cheapest rate. Then they pretty much started saying, oh yeah, now it's $800. Oh yeah, it's $900, and they didn't even give me a letter. I think if they were a little bit more forthright, it's hey gamers, we know we love you guys. We want to keep it honest with you. We're looking at the sales of digital sales, and they're a lot higher than we see in physical. It's also more costly than print physical. So we still have a lot more work to do, but we're aiming for a digital future. I wouldn't put a 2-year gap on it. I'd put like 2035. You know, that would give you enough time to iron all of these out, and that way also gives time, because we're also seeing here in courts, even lawmakers are looking into putting legislation in place to protect the consumer from Sony going, well, we're now digital. Crank the dial to $150 for a game because we're going to charge you $1,000 for a console. You know, they're trying to find ways of protecting the consumer. But I really want to go ahead, Dan. Not Dan. Ice. Go ahead and continue.
What you just said about PlayStation open
Mm-hmm.
if you think about it, that will affect PC as well.
Exactly, because if PlayStation will charge, let's say, $100 per game, and people, this is back to my Destiny days. We warned people not to buy the stuff in the Eververse, because what's going to happen if people do it? They're going to be going more towards that bag, and this was D1. And D2 comes out, and they've logged all this cool stuff we used to be able to earn. Ow! Sorry, I hit my finger. At least, darn, it's bleeding a little bit again. It wants to bleed. I don't want it to bleed.
Not to interrupt, but like when the PSPs came out,
Mm-hmm.
because I know some of them were you could do a disc or you could buy it digitally. I think, if I remember correctly.
Yes, you did have an online store which allowed you to buy it digitally, or you can buy the little discs. I personally bought the little discs. Oh no, I love the PSPs. I'm trying to get mine back.
I never owned one, but I used to my friend of mine used to let me play it on a bus, and I loved it. I never could afford one because we were broke. So like now I got all this stuff, and it's like it's just amazing. And I'm this first time on a podcast and everything, and I haven't been on a stream in forever. So
My second podcast, like 6 years.
Dan's just sitting there like, whatever.
Me and Dan do zero podcasts.
Or if you live in a rural area and you have limited access.
Exactly. But when I got my PC in a rural area, I have nice with
Mm-hmm. Which would be interesting because, like, you have a big desktop PC, like most of us do. You're carrying this inside, hooking it all up. It's like, are you moving in? No.
Looking into a big building where a whole bunch of tables and chairs are set up, and that's the only way that you can really play your game.
Anything.
Yeah.